Okay, so when I say the name Samyang Corporation, what comes to mind? For most of us, it's probably stuff like sugar, flour, the basics. A classic, stable, maybe even a little boring industrial company. But what if I told you that hiding inside this everyday food company is a full-blown high-tech powerhouse? Yeah. Their latest financial report has this fascinating secret buried in the numbers. And today, we're going to dig it up. Here we go. This is our first clue. For the first 9 months of 2025, Samyang pulled in an operating profit of 101 billion Korean won. Now, that's a really solid number, no question. But for a company that seems to just sell basic goods in a world of crazy price swings, a number this strong kind of makes you ask, exactly. Where is that money really coming from? This is the central mystery we're going to solve together. We're going to follow the clues in their financial data, and I promise you, we're going to uncover the real story behind Samyang's success. All right, our investigation starts by breaking the company down into its two main divisions. On the surface, it all looks pretty simple, but as you're about to see, things are definitely not what they seem. So at first glance, the revenue split seems totally straightforward. The food division, the part we all recognize, brings in most of the cash. We're talking over 1.1 trillion won. The chemical division is a good bit smaller. So case closed, right? The food business is obviously what drives the company. Well, not so fast. And here is the big twist. Check this out. When we look at where the actual profit is coming from, the roles are completely flipped. That smaller chemical division, it's the real powerhouse here, generating nearly 60% of the entire company's profit. The much bigger food division, it's only bringing in about 40%. So let that sink in for a second. This is our first major clue. The division with less sales is making most of the money. That tells us something really special is happening inside that chemical division, and it's time to figure out exactly what that is. To get to the bottom of this, we've got to do what all good investigators do. Follow the money. But we're not just looking at sales anymore. Nope, we're looking at where they're investing. Specifically, how Samyang is pouring money into its own future through research and development. And here it is, our second big clue. Just look at that clear, consistent trend. Year after year, Samyang is plowing a bigger and bigger slice of its revenue right back into R&D. This isn't just some line item on a budget. It's a deliberate, accelerating strategy. They're actively building their future. Now, here's a quick but really important accounting detail. Samyang expenses all its R&D. In simple terms, that means they subtract their entire innovation budget from their revenue before they report that 101 billion won profit. So their profit is that strong even after paying for this growing investment, which honestly just makes the number even more remarkable. So where's all this R&D money going? Well, it's funding a massive transformation. It's helping them turn basic, everyday commodities into high-tech, high-margin specialty products. And they're doing it across the entire company. Even the food division is getting a serious high-tech upgrade. They're moving way beyond traditional sugar, which is just a commodity that's at the mercy of volatile world markets. Now, using their own special enzyme technology, they've created Next Wheat, a brand of allulose. This is a specialty sweetener, and that means stable, high profit margins, and it plugs them right into the huge global health trend. Smart. And this is where things get really futuristic. The chemical division isn't just making basic plastics. Oh no, this R&D spending is creating some incredibly sophisticated stuff. We're talking ultra-pure resins needed for semiconductors, super lightweight materials for electric cars, and even specialized resins used in nuclear power plants. This is serious high-margin technology. So how in the world are they developing all these advanced materials so effectively? Well, this might just be the most exciting part of the whole story. They are using artificial intelligence to totally change how they innovate. The best way to think about it is like they're designing tiny, super efficient biological factories right down at the molecular level. Here's how it works. First, they have an AI model design the perfect internal recipe for a microbe to produce a specific material. Think of it like a super detailed instruction manual. Then, scientists in the lab use that AI blueprint to engineer these incredibly efficient microbes. And finally, these tiny factories just get to work, pumping out new, high-value materials. This whole AI-driven process is just slashing their development time and risk. It's a game changer. So what does this all add up to? All these clues we found? The weird profit split, the heavy R&D spending, the pivot into high-tech materials? They all point to one big conclusion.
This is all about building a company that's resilient and absolutely ready for the future. And a quick look at their strategy just shows how brilliant this is. Their biggest weakness and biggest threat has always been their reliance on imported raw materials, like sugar, with their wild price swings. This pivot to high-value specialty products directly attacks that weakness. It gives them control over their own destiny, all while they seize these huge opportunities in health and green technology.
And get this tech-focused strategy lines up perfectly with their really aggressive sustainability goals. By innovating in areas like recycled plastics and biomaterials, they're not just making more profit. They're future-proofing their entire business for a world that demands greener solutions. And they have a clear roadmap to hitting net zero by 2050.
So, the secret is finally out. Samyang is not just a sugar company anymore. Not by a long shot. The clues have led us straight to the truth. We're watching, in real time, its transformation from a traditional manufacturer into a truly cutting-edge material science company. And that leaves us with one last, really provocative question. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? If this incredible transformation is hiding inside a simple sugar company, how many other seemingly boring industrial companies out there are actually tech giants in disguise, just waiting for someone to find them in the data?